Hi, I'm Father Jim Martin with another in our Advent series of Reflections on Art. In 1987, when I had a lot more money and a lot more time, I went to an exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum of Art called Annibale Carracci and His Circle. And it was a wonderful exhibit of a 17th century Italian art. And one of the artists that I saw there was Guido Reni. And I was particularly struck by him because I'd never heard of him before, and I really liked him. I was very taken by his religious and mythological subjects, which is the painting I want to look at today in Advent. It's the Baptism of Christ, which Reni did in 1623. It's very arresting. It has these wonderful bright colors that's characteristic of Guido Reni's things. And to do a little art historical analysis, you can see in the painting a kind of triangle that goes from Jesus' arm across, and then up John the Baptist's side, and then up to the dove. And there's a nice little art triangle. They were always pointing that out to us in art class. In the background, two angels hold a bright red cloak, probably Jesus's, and to the side is another angel who looks on piously. The background, interestingly, looks more Pisa than Palestine, though. This is probably not what the scene looked like. I've never been to the Holy Land, but I know that if you visit, the scene at the Jordan River is a lot more deserty. But this was actually very typical of the style of Italian painting at the time, which often posed saints and figures from the Gospels in very Italianate landscapes, so it's not too surprising. But I do think it's important to look at the real life story of John the Baptist and what it might have meant for Jesus to be baptized by him. Did you ever wonder why it's Jesus that's going for the baptism? It seems a little strange. I mean, Jesus is sinless. Why is he going to John the Baptist to get baptized for repentance of sins, as the Gospel says? You know, and even one of the Gospels has Jesus ask that question, or has John the Baptist ask that question, you know, I should be being baptized by you. But Jesus says, no, this is the way it's supposed to be to fulfill things. So it's very interesting. To me, this shows a great humility on Jesus' part, the sinless one, who nonetheless understands in some way that he needs to be baptized by John. So it's this great embracing of Jesus' humanity and of his poverty of spirit. At the same time, John is being humble as well. You know, I talked about this, not exactly this painting, but this scene in a Bible study class with some prisoners at a Boston jail a few years ago during my theology studies, and one of the inmates said it must have been very hard for John to relinquish all of this authority, in a sense, to Jesus, because John had his own disciples as well, which I thought was a great insight. So both of them are being humble at the time, and of course the heavens open up and a voice is heard saying, this is my son in whom I am well pleased. And of course, in some of the Gospels, a dove comes down, which we see in Guido Reni's picture. So for me, this is really a picture of humility. Both of them are adopting a very humble stance. Jesus in this picture itself is very humble looking. His head is bowed in a sense. John the Baptist, of course, his nakedness shows his humility. And also it's an act of humility because he is in fact passing the torch, as it were, to the new leader, to the person to whom he's going to pass all of his disciples. All of us are called to this humility in all of our lives, no matter what we're doing, this kind of poverty of spirit. And so this wonderful Guido Reni painting, I think, shows this wonderful poverty of spirit that Jesus is called to, that John is called to, and that more important, that Jesus calls us all to. This is Father Jim Martin, the culture editor of America Magazine. Thank you.